Namaste everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to this collective reading, this transmission. So, in this collective reading, I'm going to be talking about the divine masculine and divine feminines, the misunderstanding between them. And let me just clarify something over here. So, we are masculine and feminine because of the gender, right? But there is also masculine and feminine energy that runs in our life. Someone who is emotional is usually led by the feminine energy, and someone who's more logical and practical or needs to do a lot of calculations, some kind of, scientific research is usually in masculine energy. However, in the twin flame ascension journey, it is mostly seen that people also do some kind of role reversal. So when someone is heartbroken, like they were earlier in the emotional energy, more in emotional energy, now they are more in logical energy because they're trying to figure out what really happened, what was their mistake. They're researching, they're trying to find out, they're trying to, do 2 plus 2 is 4 or is it 5 or what is it really. In today's channeling session, I'm being shown that the masculine had some kind of misunderstanding towards the feminine, and he felt that the feminine is not that into him, and he also had a bit of jealousy because of that. He felt that the feminine is into someone else. She has either a relationship with someone else or she's a liking for someone else. I mean, she was with him also for a while maybe, or maybe he doesn't know the status of the feelings, or even if it was a long-term relationship and there was a gap, there was a sort of a break they took in between, he probably thought that she took the break to be with someone else, or he saw her with someone else and he felt that there is something going on between them. So this is one misunderstanding, which is a romantic misunderstanding which he had. And there is some other misunderstanding also which the masculine had towards the feminine, which was something to do with her nature, something to do with her habits. It could also be that there were some third parties involvement was there who poisoned his mind against the feminine. Sometimes it's our programming also that acts like third party, because the programming makes people think about things in certain ways. I mean, everyone has their own point of view. And in the twin flame ascension journey, one more thing that is very common is the healing which is happening in phases and cycles. It means that some of the people, they go through runner-chaser dynamic. Initially when they're going through it, it's happening for a shorter period of time. Maybe 2 months, 1 month, 3 months, and they find it to be very difficult. Then they have grown, when they have grown a bit, when they have become more spiritually mature and they can handle a slightly longer period of separation, then they will stay together for a longer period and then go away for a longer period as compared to the previous one. I mean, then this can keep progressing, or it can be equal amounts, like 6 months they're together, 6 months they're not together, 4 months they're together, 4 months they're not together. I mean, it can be frustrating for anyone, but runner-chaser dynamic is designed like that. That is how it is. Now, some people have asked me that why do we have to be in such a horrible journey? Someone had even written in the comment section where I had mentioned something to do with inner work, and they had mentioned that twin flame journey is actually a torture. And I mean, yes, it can be an emotional torture when we have not healed. When we have healed, then we realize that those situations, those people were placed on our timeline for a reason. And God chose you for a reason, and God chose certain templates for you for a reason. And when I say God, sometimes people think, okay, God is a cruel figure who is doing all this. God doesn't want you to be happy. But actually, you also have a super soul. And your super soul is literally in union with source. There is no separation over there. Only when you're born, you are born into duality, because you separate from your higher self. So earlier, before you come to planet Earth, before you're an embryo, before you're a baby, all of that, you are one unified energy. There is no separation. Then you come to your mother's womb, and 2 or 3 months later, once the embryo forms a pineal gland, because that's the gateway of all cosmic energy, once that is done, then you also, lot of people also, some people actually stay connected for a while, let me tell you. They are like, they have reasons for doing that. But the duality begins to form because the womb starts giving us information. And when we separate from our own higher self, we don't separate fully. It's like the higher self is out there doing its job and we are in the physical reality. But the higher self is constantly taking care of us. Higher self is like our best friend. It's like always watching out for us. But the Maya of planet Earth is such that we do not realize. And this separation with higher self also leads to the search of true love, because we also feel separated, right? We are in duality, we feel separated. So when we do inner work and these concepts become normal for us, and we can start connecting with higher self more and more, and we also remain in gratitude more and more on a daily basis, when we feel grateful for our life. And one thing is gratitude. The second thing is, even when you're going through bad times, we must continue to do our inner work, and we must continue to believe that whatever is happening for our good, no matter how stupid it sounds at that point in time. Like for some people, they say, how is this good for me? Whatever situation they are in, how is this pain good for me? How is this toxicity good for me? And yet there are a lot of people who want to be in a toxic relationship with someone who is not healed. They do not question logically at that point in time that they are in that toxicity because of a certain relationship. So that relationship is not healthy for them. It's like wasting their time, distracting them. Maybe the other person has huge amount of addiction patterns, and they are able to justify their addiction patterns because they are either raised by narcissistic people really well, because narcissists also have favorites. So they enable certain children and they neglect certain children. The ones who are enabled, they think that they can do anything. They can literally they are like loved no matter what. They feel that way. But that's also a superficial type of love, which is why they have so many addiction patterns. If they actually had experienced proper love from their parents, they won't be addicted to such things that make them lose their mind and they don't even know what they're saying or what they're doing half of the time. So the masculine basically perceived feminine here to be a bad person or to be irresponsible, to be unworthy. But I'm being shown that the feminine, she moved on, she detached herself, she did her inner work really well. And I feel that we must be thankful to God to give us the right people, the right therapist or the right healers or the right messages. Many a times we get exactly what we need. We need the content that can uplift us, and we get that. We need the synchronized messages, and we get that. And sometimes, even if we don't get that, I still feel that it's a part of the process. So the feminine accepted everything as a part of the process, and she continued to persevere and she took care of herself. And yesterday I had shared a very beautiful quote, and it says that, dear divine feminine, continue to choose yourself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, without any guilt or shame. That's the most important part. Choose you. I know it may be sounding like, how can I choose myself? Choose what makes you peaceful. Choose what makes you happy. In any given situation also, if you're going through stress, choose to be stress-free. Choose the thoughts that make you feel relaxed. If a certain thought is causing you pain, emotional pain, then you must not choose it, and that choice is in our hands. So the feminine decides to choose herself without any guilt or shame, and with love and compassion. When she keeps doing that, on the other side, on the masculine side, things change. And he realizes, and I'm saying he or she over here, but actually I mean the masculine is a person who was more in logical energy, probably also the runner because of that, and feminine is more in emotional energy and probably was the chaser because of that. So these roles can be played by any gender. And I also sense a sexuality in this. It could be for some people in some parts of the world. This could also apply to homosexual relationships where one person is playing the masculine role and the other is playing the feminine role. In all honesty, I feel that we all get reincarnated in different bodies. So the same person can get reincarnated in a male body, then next life the female body, then next life male body, or maybe there can be a certain type of sequence like twice you are female or twice you are male, something like that, and then again you are a female. People do that, souls do that because they want to get the masculine as well as the feminine perspective for the soul's growth, for the soul's research purpose, for the soul's understanding, and whatever lessons are there. And nowadays in our world, in the 3D world, because Earth is transitioning, there is a lot of masculine and feminine imbalance. Now that's obviously seen in the twin flame world for sure, because twin flames are always entering. No matter what time I look out for the information for certain downloads, the match of it, I always interestingly find new entrants in this journey, and there's a good number for it. Now then, some people get really harrowed by it and then they say, I don't want to do this. But some people continue. So when I started out in 2009-10 to work on this subject, and I ended up writing a book called In the Name of Love, which was a downloaded book. It came via channeling. That time also there were lots of people who were fresh, new in this journey, twin flame ascension journey. Then 4-5 years later, I think by 2012-11, a lot of things were happening on planet Earth as well. And then I think in 14-15, again there was a gush of twin flames, brand new twin flames. Then in 18, there was a new gush. And then in 2020, there was a new gush. And then 2024, this year also, there has been a gush of a wave of twin flames. So it means that new people keep entering this collective, and the ones who have been there for a good number of time, they move into other avenues. Like they will start relating with light worker journey after some time. They will be in a soulmate relationship, or they'll also have twin flame along with them. They'll probably have a different relationship. Some will get married to twin flame, some will not, some will do something else. For some it's it's not a romantic relationship at all after a few years. So things keep changing. Some people relate a lot with starseed ascension, so they go deeply into astral projection, metaphysics, and a lot of things like that. Some people are hardcore, truly driven by a mission. So twin flame journey is basically also like a gateway. It's a entry pass. People make entry into it, and then they start realizing that, okay, I have a divine masculine energy and I also have a divine feminine energy. And the person who introduced me to all of this, I could be calling that person my twin flame. But at that point in time, some misunderstanding has to happen. Some negativity has to happen. Like something has to happen so that there is a phase of separation, or there is some kind of learning, some kind of lesson that plays out. Because if you're always going to be with that person, you'll never be an individual. You'll never have your own independent journey. However, some time later, I'm being told that the masculine realizes, the one who was in some logical space, mental space, realizes that no, my person was actually right. All throughout, my person was right. and I was very negative, or I had the misunderstandings in my head, or I was always really fast to jump to conclusions, because they were not thinking from their emotional mind. They never thought that, yes, I have a connection with this person, or my words can hurt this person, my behavior can hurt this person, or there has to be something in the, in the stars that we keep connecting again and again. Even when they are together, when people say that we are together for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I think that time also Ranachita dynamic happens a lot. But they are still together, they're still one unit. They still won't say, yeah, I broke up, so it's over. They would say, yeah, I had a fight, so I'm not talking to my person for some time. They'll rather say that. And during that time, whosoever is in the emotional energy, when they heal themselves properly, then there is a time they hear the good news, or they watch it play out. They get to know that, yes, I was the person who was misunderstood by someone, and now they understand me. And when they understand you, then it's more like a eternal understanding, because some things you cannot take away from a person. Some things, when they figure it out, it stays with them for the rest of their life. It cannot leave. Just the way the love has not been able to leave them for such a long time. Similarly, when they learn something about you, something genuine about you, a genuine truth about you, then that also never leaves. And this is what this collective reading is all about. You can get into a personal session with me, and you can also get into therapy with me. There are multiple different types of therapies, because twin flames usually go through a lot of patterns. Negative karma is there, which they incur from their people around, of course. Right from their inception into the womb, they start taking on to that karma. And it's not done in a negative way. It's not like, okay, they are just taking all the bad karma. No, every parent that you've ever been born to has passed on something good to you that helps you to grow in every life, in fact. And twin flame, like the life where you are right now, if you are going to be like in proper ascension journey, then this is going to be your last life, like the cycle of the loop of life and death. That's going to finish. After that, if you incarnate on this planet, it's going to be with your own wish and will, and you will know where to contribute, what to do. In fact, a lot of people are already feeling that. They feel that they've never come to this place before. They feel some kind of alienation here on planet Earth. Sometimes they feel that they don't belong here. So they need to heal from the narcissistic wounds, from the wounds that have been passed on to them via anger in the DNA. So that needs to transmute into love. Then there are people who have lots of negative memories. They need to release those memories. Then there are people who keep going through a lot of dark energy. I'm not talking about the positive darkness, I'm talking about the evil. So darkness and evil is different, but sometimes when we don't know the difference, or we don't know literally, like a lot of demons actually flourish in fear-based energies. So, for example, you have lots and lots of fear-based energies, or your folks had lots of fears, which they stored in their DNA, which they passed on to you. Or you have certain memories which have a lot of fear, trauma in it. So then what will happen? The evil energy or the demonic energy can impact you majorly. So that is also an area that a lot of people need to work on, so that they can understand that darkness, and they can actually look for the stuff that can help them further ahead in the journey, which can act as a tool. But right now that tool is kind of buried below all of the stuff that needs to be literally searched into, and that we can only do via the help of this journey. So yes, the masculine is going to get rid of the misunderstandings, and he would be in better spiritual energies, better maturity. Like he will be more spiritually mature to understand that he's formed some really negative notions about a really kind hearted, compassionate, and positive person. So, probably he also goes through his own journey of healing his negativity or healing his wounds. I will see you in the next video. One love, peace out, and victory to Ram.